Okay, today I want to show you how to build a simple AI research assistant. Now, who is this for? Everyone who wants to leverage AI to their advantage, anyone who does not find the news they want to consume, and it's demonstrated in this context of research, but you can use, of course, AI in many different ways. It's just like one more way how you can use AI that you might not be aware of. I will give a very simple introduction. If you want to more details or different information, just comment. This is just a first prototype to see like if this is even interesting for someone, and also like for myself to see like how concepts can be broken down. What are the prerequisites? So this should be really very basic. This is for anyone who can use ChatGPT already, who knows how to use a computer, who understands files and folders, and is eager to learn new things. Now, why would we even use a different way? Because you can already use ChatGPT, right? ChatGPT can browse the web, can consume files, can do projects, but ChatGPT cannot write new files. And ChatGPT also has the problem that once threads gets too long, it gets very messy and also slow, and at some point it breaks down. And you also have not really control over how the project should be structured because it's only one-dimensional. You can just add files to a project and that's it. So here I want to show something very different. You can also use, of course, Notebook LM from Google. It can create podcasts, it can create videos, but it also cannot write files. So there's a lot of new tools out there, of course, but here I think this is really something novel. So let's go into the how, and so I'll give you a brief overview of what this here is all about. So this here, what you see is Cursor AI, this whole interface. Now, Cursor AI specifically is designed as an agentic software engineering. Don't worry about the software engineering part. You don't need to be a software engineer. You also don't need to understand how to code. You can learn it with this tool in a very nice way, and maybe we can do more videos about that as well. We are basically reusing this tool for a different purpose, because this here is really designed to create software. And in order to create software, you need to be able to write files, and you need to be able to do it in an agentic way. Now, that is very different from ChatGPT, because what an agent does is it observes itself. So you give an instruction, and then it observes itself during the execution, and it corrects itself until the requirement is fulfilled. And that's exactly the core of what makes this so amazing. This is also the core of why OpenClaw is so amazing, or any AI assistant for that matter, because it can work in a loop until the job is done. And this makes it much more intelligent, because in ChatGPT or Gemini or any chatbot, you give an input and then you get an output in one go. But you don't really have an iteration. So if the AI makes a mistake, it cannot self-correct. So here we use this feature to leverage it and create really this research assistant. Now, Cursor AI can also browse the internet, so it can really research. It can write files, as I mentioned, and you can also access the most advanced AI models in one place. I can show you this right now. So you have here on the right side, you have a drop down where you can access the most common AIs, the most powerful AIs, and you can also add here your own models. I'm not going to go into Cursor itself too much, because that's going to be a whole other video. I really just want to spark here something so you understand what this is about, what the power is, and then of course you can also use AI to learn more about it if this is interesting to you. So here I have a chat window where I can talk to to the AI, and you see here it's in agent mode. You have here different modes, but only today I want to only talk about agent, which is that loop. So here you see also the infinity symbol, which means it executes until the job is done. I have prepared here a prompt. I don't know what's going to happen once we send this prompt. This is about the fourth attempt. I have been trying to do that to really make it simple and break it down. We might run into a few issues and then we just try to solve them right away. Issues, I mean mostly like that the agent might reply or ask questions that we cannot answer if we don't understand certain basics of, let's say, programming or how a computer works in general or how Cursor AI works. We just work our way through as we go. As I have mentioned this right now, I just remember that there's one more instruction that I want to add. So then the AI assistant also does know who we are and what is our knowledge, so we can it can guide us properly. Since this is aimed for really beginners, I would add here another statement just really quick. Okay, so the prompt here starts with, I want to build a very simple AI research assistant. Then it says all research is going to be persisted in markdown files. This is already the major difference between this here, Cursor AI, and ChatGPT. By the way, there are also other agents out there where you can do the same thing. I just find that Cursor AI at the moment is the most simple and most powerful. So here I want that all the research is going to be in markdown files. That means that every time the agent is researching something, it's going to be added into new files that I then can browse in the file system. If you don't know what markdown files are, I have here already an example. So a markdown file is basically a very simple text file, and you can format text with very simple instructions. So for example, one hash is a major title, two hashes a smaller title, and so on and so forth. So then when you view this in the viewer, this is what it looks like. So you have some very basic formatting that is not too complex. So all files will be like this. So you can always understand it, and it's not like HTML file, let's say, for example, that would be way harder to read. Then we want to have one file where all the research interest is persisted. So this means we have one input file where we can basically negotiate with the agent what is our interest. So we have an iteration that each time there is a loop, that the agent improves, or the research assistant improves over time to learn from us what is our interest, what do we actually want to research. Then in that file, at the top of the file is a summary of what I'm interested. This is important because you have to think about like how AI is consuming content. And it does that literally by reading from the top to the end, and then from left to right. So that's why you always want to start with the most important information first, so it also doesn't have to read through everything to understand what is this about, and can therefore make decisions much faster. Then at the bottom, I want a list of suggestions by you, the agent, to gauge new interest. So I want it to basically come up with new ideas based on the files, based off what we have done in the past, to see if there may be new topics that we can explore that we are not aware of, or that are just not in the file yet. Then for each interest, I want to be able to say yes or no, simply. I'm interested in this, or I'm not interested. Or I add a short comment for the next iteration. So this is where we teach the AI what is our field of interest. Then the research itself, this is important, is really done by Cursor AI. So in here, the whole research will happen because this has access to the internet. So once I send the prompt, it can do research on its own, go through the files and understand what it should pull from the web. Then for each research iteration, I want to create a research brief file with a date. So then after a while, I will have multiple files with researches each time I have triggered that for later processing and reference. Of course, I want to add a web link in all the research so I can jump directly to the information and dig deeper into specific topics if I want to. Then here I have already added this. I'm not a software engineer, so please keep it simple and straightforward. The general flow should be like research the interest file and then process and research. We probably also need a README file. README file is basically just a general files that is added to the project that describes the project itself. So we have a meta information, what this is about, where we can also adjust as we go to see if there may be additional information we want to give the AI, and also for us for later to understand how this even operates. Now here I want to add something that is also important in conversation with AI. I want the AI as a, let's say, co-worker, somebody we work together with it in a concert. So I want to invite it to also give me advice if I have maybe not written the input properly, or if it has other ideas how we can make this project even better. So I want to be as general as possible in this additional prompts, because I want to leave the field open. So I don't ask closed question. I always try to ask open question to really invite brainstorming into the AI. So let's send this prompt and see what happens. Okay, now here we run already in one of these problems that I mentioned earlier. So it's not really a problem, but it's something that you have to understand. This tool is able to run commands on your computer. So it can basically execute anything or search anything on your computer. Now that might sound scary, and I would be concerned if I would have installed, let's say, OpenClaw and give access to my computer. I would never do that, because that is dangerous, and there's a thing called prompt injection, which I won't go into details right now, but that's really a security problem. Here I'm less concerned because since Cursor AI is a well-known project, so it's a trustworthy project, they make sure that commands basically run in a sandbox, or better stated, like you have the ability to, whenever a command is executed, you can see the command and you can decide if you really want to run that. So here, if you don't understand the command, if you are confused what this is about, you can always ask ChatGPT next to it, or you can open, let's say here, a new chat window and ask it what is this about. For example, you could screenshot this here, or you can describe it and ask what is this about, is it okay to run if you don't understand it. So again, use AI to also accelerate yourself and learn on the fly. So this here is no problem. This is just a directory listing. It just wants to look inside what is already there. So I run it. Here you see the thinking is happening in the background. This is just like how the internal process, basically really the internal thinking process works. And now it comes up with a response. Let's see what it's saying. So far, it seems that it's happy with the idea, and it's already executing here the steps. Let's finish reading that, and then explain what's happening down there. Here it gives me an additional information. So I have hooked up my Notion. So of course, then it matches, it suggests that I could use that to integrate. We're not going into this detail now. This is then adds more complexity. We want to have it as simple as possible. So these are all nice suggestions, but we won't do any of this here. It's just you can then take your own path from here once you have started with this. So then it immediately goes into execution. The reason is because it's in agent mode. Agent mode is really like it always wants to execute immediately. So if you don't want that, you could change it to ask. Then it would just give you an answer, but it would not be able to actually start building anything or changing anything. Sometimes this is necessary because it's really trained to be very eager to really help you and fix the problem immediately, execute immediately. Another command to create a new directory. You see here it has created a new folder called research. It has created the README file. Let's read through the README file really quick. It has created a my research interest file. Let's have a look into that file really quick. All right, that's very basic. Let's see how we can improve that later. Let's go back to the README file. Right, then once we have this in place, we can just say read my research interests and do research. And then each time it will improve itself as we do that. Then in the research folder, all the research goes in there. It has created already a sample research, so let's have a look. So here's just a demonstration how that could look like. Then you answer it yes, no, and you repeat the whole process. Project structure, tips, and so on. So then here is the answer, what it did. It has set up everything, how to use it and replace. Okay, let's test it. So let's go here. Here it says, write a short summary of what you're generally interested in. This helps AI understand the big picture and find relevant things. Example, I'm interested in how artificial intelligence is changing everyday life, education, productivity. I also want to stay up to date on space exploration news. Well, let's use that as a starting point. I'm interested in how artificial intelligence is changing everyday life and space exploration topics. Please also expand into other topics as we go. So here I instruct the AI again because I'm not really sure if it has picked up on that. From what I have seen so far, it's not necessarily suggestions. Yes, here after each research session, so suggestions will appear here. Okay, so since this is very new, I just like to hint here and there also for AI a little bit to nudge it a little bit further into where I want this to go. Okay, so that's fine for now. I close this chat window here because the whole point is that once I have here my files that basically have now persisted the latest state, which is AI, which is what we just did. I'm sorry, this is another one. This one. So here is now basically a summary or the essence of what we did in this chat window. And I don't want to keep this chat open too long. We also have to think about the context window. So as you can see, it's already filled 22%. Context windows are fairly expensive, so you don't want this to grow too much. And also you want to have something extracted from the session that you keep yourself. So that's basically the whole point, what we're doing here, that you have then, after you're done, the files in your possession, and you can then go with those files to any AI in the future and have already the framework laid out that where you can just then take it from there. So no export needed from ChatGPT or Gemini or what have you. You can build here your own set exactly in the way you want it. You could probably do something similar with OpenClaw, but in OpenClaw the problem is everything is inside a black box, and you would have to understand how the project itself works to extract those files. And also it's not standard. This here, what we are doing, the standard there is more like it has a sole document, it has then log files and so on, so which is somewhat similar to this. But what I like to do here is to show you that you can create this from scratch yourself. There is a lot more that we can talk about in another video. And so with this here, you could theoretically build your own open claw within a week or so. So let's open a new chat window. And I forgot already what the command is. So I just try something like this. Very simple. Please do research and see what happens. Now, what the AI does is, because this is fairly a new, this is a brand new context window. So the AI right now has no idea when it gets this text here, please do research. But what it does, because it's an agent and it's built into Cursor AI, it searches through the files that we already have in the project, and then it understands by reading what is in here, because we have persisted that, what is to be done, and the agent will now loop over this for as long until this here is fulfilled, because we said please do research, and in the files is the description what that means. So now it can continue in that loop until that really is done, including web research. So let's see what comes out. Research complete. Here is what I did. Created the research brief covering all 3 topics: AI trends, AI in education, space exploration. I also added 6 topic suggestions. Let's go have a look. Okay, we have here our sample file from initially, and we have here a brand new file that contains all research from today. We have a date, we have topics, and we have some summaries, including some sources and links. That looks wonderful to me. That's exactly what we wanted. My research interested has also updated, I'm assuming. Let's have a look. Topics to research, right? Done. Add your topics here. Okay, so here it says done. Now, that of course is never done, so we have to instruct it that this is not really what we want, because this should be ongoing. So I'm just going to ask a question. So I ask it, what do you mean by done in the topics? Why would it ever be done? Why would it see it this way? And then I specify what I want instead. So my idea here would be that it keeps researching, but that this does not include the same topics or advancements twice, because that's something, for example, that I am not wanting to waste my time, that when I open the news, that I see the same trends and progresses twice. So here I would use AI to filter out what I already know. And here you can, of course, then also over time adjust like how close you want to track certain topics. Here are the suggestions. AI in healthcare. So then I would have to go into the edit mode, of course. I would just say, yeah, sure. Privacy, yeah, I'm interested in that as well. I would not be interested in that. Yeah, sounds interesting. No, this I would not be interested. And yes, this I would be interested. I save this file. Okay, then let's send this prompt and see what it answers. Right, so here it self-corrects. It realizes, yeah, that really doesn't make sense. And then, of course, it comes up with an idea how we could do that instead. So what is it saying? Right, so we can stop it if you're not interested. We could also probably just delete it. Or maybe not, because if we mark it as stop, it should not add it as a new topic suggestion. Right, so let's see what it did. Right, so now it just put a short summary. Or this was here before, I believe. So it's this here, right? So that changed. Yeah. Okay, so I guess that's it. Now we have here our answers. And let's start a new session. It learned again from the input files. Let me start by reading the project files. So this is the start when the context window is empty, and then I can see your research interests and the previous session work. This session, I'll research the 4 new topics you approved. So it immediately understands now what you have been doing in these files. creates a to-do list again and is executing until this is done. Okay, it seems to be done. It gives me an overview what it has done. Let's go have a look. So that would be this one, right? So of course we would have to add also a time. So we would instruct it to add a time. And here is the whole summary, what it did, including some web links. If you want to see this in a nice view, you can change to the view mode. And you see here is the full overview of the whole research. It also updated the My Research Interest. So we still have here topics to research, can add here your own. Okay, so this is not exactly how I wanted it, because this here will bloat the context window. So we would have to instruct it that each session it removes what we have researched and basically just summarizes here what is our interest. So it learns over time without bloating the context window. I won't do that now. I just wanted to show you how this works as quick and fast as possible. So this session has me taken about 30 minutes. So you see what's possible with AI in 30 minutes. We could build this out into a whole web page, of course. So we could instruct it to build a website around it. So we can actually look through the research, browse through the research, even search through the research in a website. We could add new topics. We could even add an AI agent within the website. There's so much possibility. So just imagine what I have been doing now in 30 minutes and what you can do in a whole week or even in a month. So this is it for now. If you have questions or if there are other topics that you want to see me doing, that you are interested, you can just comment and then I can do another one. Thank you for watching.